Somebody came to me once and said, Paul, my doctor told me I had only 3 weeks to live. What should I do? I said, you better find another doctor. Because the only thing that doctor is using to determine that is every person that doctor has treated with that illness has only survived that long. That's not a very good track record. You want to go to a doctor that says you have 70 or 80 years, not a couple of weeks or a couple of months. There's no way to tell that. So what I'm saying is, if you are in this final stage, never ever give up, regardless of what anyone tells you. At the Hippocrates Health Institute, there are people that come there in stage 4 cancers, giving death sentences, even people that are using alternative health as a last resort, not a first, and they're getting well again. It's very possible. I've seen it with my own eyes. I experienced it with my own eyes. Don't think there's no hope. There's always a hope. But we're not going to focus on the final stage of the disease tonight. Tonight we're going to focus on the beginning, because if you take care of the disease in the beginning stages, you'll never have to worry about the final stages. I'm going to repeat that again. If you take care of the beginning stages, you're never going to have to focus on the final stages. So now, we're going to talk about what the beginning stages of disease are. And we're going to talk about how to identify them, what causes them, how to overcome them, and how the formula for health can help us with all of this. But before I do that, did everyone get this paper? Okay. Now, I'm also going to pass this around here. If everyone, I don't need your name, just sign your email address. If you want to be on my email list, which I don't share your emails with anyone. It just, I have a newsletter that goes out once a month, and if you want to be on there, it's free, and so on. So, the beginning signs of health, the beginning signs of disease today are so common, so many people suffer from them, that it's accepted as normal. Just because it's normal doesn't mean it's correct. They're accepted as normal, but they're not good, and the sad thing is, children are suffering from these signs of disease at a younger and younger age. And I've been to cultures all over the world. There's the same 2 common causes of disease all over the world, or common signs of disease. The first 2 signs of disease is laziness and constipation. Laziness and constipation are the first 2 signs of disease. In fact, I know people that are so lazy, they're happy they're constipated, so they don't got to get up and go to the bathroom. That's how bad it's become in today's world. Now, some people try to deny that, but I don't listen to people that are full of something. Laziness and constipation are the first 2 signs of disease. And if somebody told you it's not, you've been lied to. Now, what causes this disease? What causes these signs? Again, I've been all over the world, and there's 2 common causes to disease. And I don't care if you're eating a raw food diet, or if you just came from McDonald's. It's the same 2 common causes of disease. And I'm talking about from a physical standpoint. Because later we'll talk about the emotional and spiritual aspects. But from a physical standpoint, the same 2 common causes of disease all over. And that is overeating and undersleeping. Overeating and undersleeping. This is where we get ourselves into trouble. And we must do something about it. You cannot do one without the other, first of all, because when you're overeating, you're going to undersleep, because you're not giving your body enough time to recover from all the damage you've done by overeating. There's not enough time in a day to eat the standard American diet, as many meals people eat, and to get up and go to a job 8 hours a day, the way people do. People say, what are we supposed to do? Stay in bed all day and quit our job? No. Find out why you require so much sleep to begin with. People say, but they get a lot of sleep. There's a big difference between a lot of sleep and enough sleep. The people I've interviewed in my book, they get enough sleep, and they only need short amounts of sleep, because they're doing the things that our Creator wanted us to do when it comes to diet and so on. However, when you go against that information, you create more of a need for rest and sleeping. Now, what is rest and sleep? It's another word for healing. So when you're overeating, you're creating an illness, and when you're not getting enough rest and sleep, you're stopping yourself from healing. We need to understand sleeping is the most important thing that people cut short way too often, and they run into problems before it. It talks about this over and over again in the scriptures about the importance of sleep and rest. And it talks about, we can see it, you can go without food for months, you can go without water for days, try going 1 night without sleeping, look how you feel. I mean, sometimes you can't even remember your name. It's the most important thing that people don't pay enough attention to. They focus so much on diet and nutrition and everything else, but while they're doing that, they're not getting enough sleep, and they're getting themselves sick in the process. So we need to make sure, and the amount for everyone is different depending on many factors, but the greatest factor is how much they're eating. And most people are overeating. The key is overeating. Now, the obvious question would be, why do we overeat? True or true? Glad you agree with me. That would be the obvious question. Why do we overeat? And there's many different reasons why we overeat, but there's two basic reasons from a physical standpoint why we overeat. Well, from a physical standpoint, the major reason we overeat is the food is low quality. When we eat low quality food, we're not giving our body the nutrition it needs. So even though we're taking in food, making our body work more, requiring more sleep, we're still not giving our body what we need, and we're going to crave more food. We must eat a higher quality food, or the highest quality food, if we want our bodies to be satisfied. The body really doesn't know the difference between one food or another. There's no little man with a computer sitting in your colon saying, here comes an apple, and here comes a chicken wing. What it does is it takes what it needs and it has to get rid of the rest. And if you eat a high quality food the right way, what it's going to do is it's going to take what it needs, and there's going to be a lot of stuff in there, and there's going to be very little to get rid of. But when you eat a food that's low quality, it's going to maybe even get something out of it. Let's say you eat a piece of bread, there might be something in it your body can use, but there's a lot of waste left over. And your body still needs more now. If you don't have the information, you'll keep getting a low quality source of that, and you'll keep creating the body to work more while giving it less. And that's the opposite of what we want to accomplish. So what is the highest quality food we can eat? Well, there's 5 things in a food that we need to think about to know what the highest quality food is. Now, I am not a person to recommend people need to eat a 100% raw food diet to be healthy. The body is amazing and can deal with much. Some people think it's amazing that somebody can eat a raw food diet and get better from something like cancer. The real amazing thing about the body is somebody can eat McDonald's as long as they eat it and not get cancer. The body is amazing. You do not have to eat 100% raw food to be healthy. However, the majority of your diet should be as high as quality as possible, and the more you eat, the better off you're going to be. I personally eat 100% raw food, not because I think I have to eat all raw, but because I have no desire to eat cooked food. If I did, I would enjoy a cooked food meal every now and then, but I would make sure the majority of my diet was raw. So don't put this pressure on yourself thinking you have to do it all or none. Do the best you can do and always try to do better. So, the highest quality foods we can eat are 5 things: raw, ripe, fresh, organic, and live. Raw, ripe, fresh, organic, and live. And we're going to break this down for everyone here. The first one is raw. What is so good about raw foods? What's so important about raw foods? And there's 2 things basically in it that's so important. The first one is liquid. Liquid. There's a great book here called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. Dehydration is one of the biggest causes of disease. Dehydration, because when we cook a food, we dehydrate the food. It's almost like swallowing a dry sponge that comes out wet. Guess where that water is coming from your body. It's dehydrating your body. But when you eat foods raw, it has all the liquid right in there. So we need that liquid. That liquid also contains the nutrients that our body needs. So that's one of the problems with cooked food that we need raw food for. And the next reason is enzymes. Now we hear a lot about enzymes, and we hear they're good, but do we actually know what they do for the body? And I'm going to simplify this for you as simple as possible for you to understand it. They help the body maintain as much energy as possible by not wasting energy. An example of what enzymes do in the body is, picture there was a room here with a door and a lock on it. And you wanted something very bad on the other side. There's only 2 ways to get it. One way is to simply take a key, open up the lock, go to the other side, and get what you need, using very little stress to do so. Now, if you don't have that key, the only way you're going to get to the other side is to kick and scream and break down that door, using a lot of energy and stress to do so. Now, how disappointed would you be when you got to the other side if what you wanted wasn't there? How many people here, by a show of hands, like to work very hard to get very little? Well, neither does the body. When you eat food without its enzymes, that's what you're making the body do. You're making the body work harder to get less, and that's the opposite of what we want to accomplish. We want to make the body work less to get more. So this is why enzyme supplements are so important. This is, even if you eat a 100% raw food diet, enzyme supplements are important because they help the body use less energy and get more out of the food. In other words, when it comes to the food, the enzymes are the key, and they help the body get into it and get what it needs out of it. So enzymes and liquid. By the way, the majority of the human body is made up of what? Enzymes and liquid. We need to have raw as the highest quality food.